Code Bunny is a fast-paced 2D action platformer inspired by several classics in the genre, and it doesn't quite attain its own narrative or design goals. It wants to tell a compelling story and provide a suite of high-risk, high-reward, high-score mechanics, but instead it spins a generic, bloated fable featuring tired, poorly utilized tropes, and, the gameplay functions fine, on a superficial level at least. To start with the writing, it's very amateurish. This is an inherently simple story bloated with excessive exposition, shallow characterization, and poor pacing. Every member of the cast is a two-dimensional archetype who openly flaunts their personality traits. Hazel is the stoic and surly one who appears standoffish but actually sports a heart of gold. Axel, meanwhile, appears ditzy and clueless, but she harbors incredible emotional intelligence. Stuff like that. And there's nothing inherently wrong with such simplicity, but there's a lot of dialogue, including optional scenes which add very little additional context. If you want to use basic characters with basic arcs, that's fine. Generic things can be good. But then you don't also need a packet full of endless prattle like this. The actual plot has much the same problem. It's a fundamentally simple story which needlessly overexplains itself even as it stacks plot twist atop plot twist atop plot twist. More is not always better. You can write compelling characters without so much rambling, and you can have a fulfilling narrative without all this secondhand subversion. But to be fair, it's not like the writing is broken. The characters, while shallow, are consistent, and there are no plot holes or illogical events. It's just overburdened by its own aimless ambition and desperately needed an editor. And I wish I could call the gameplay better, but it's just not as clever, creative, or engaging as it thinks it is. I am a huge fan of Sonic and Mega Man, and the several other platformers this is transparently inspired by, and those games reward high-skill play with inventive level design that pushes the mechanics and the player to the limit. In comparison, Code Bunny is fairly flaccid. Sure, it sets you up with cool movement tech, but it's marred by languid level design and bland boss battles that I practically slept through. This is a precision platformer. I shouldn't be able to button mash my way through, you know? And yeah, the game gets marginally more challenging as it progresses, but never enough to wake my brain back up. Look, I know it sounds like I'm ripping Code Bunny a new one, but that isn't my intention here. This is a solid, middle-of-the-road platformer with a solid, middle-of-the-road story. I think it fails to be interesting, unique, or intellectually stimulating, but it is functional. If it looks good to you, you should play it, because what you see is what you get.